Being normal is the worst thing you can possibly be. Look at the average person. They are tired, they are anxious, they are in debt, and they are living for the weekend. They follow the herd off the cliff, smiling the whole way down because everyone else is doing it. If you have ever looked at the world around you and felt like you didn't belong, like you were an alien dropped onto the wrong planet, congratulations. You are not broken. You are not crazy. You are waking up. That feeling of being different is not a curse. It is a signal. It is your soul rejecting the programming of a sick society. The Stoics knew that to be great is to be misunderstood. If you fit in, you disappear. If you stand out, you suffer, but you also soar. Let's talk about that feeling. You know the one. You are sitting at a dinner table with family, or you're at a party with friends, and everyone is laughing, everyone is engaged in the conversation, but you feel a pane of glass between you and them. You hear the words they are saying, but they sound hollow. You see the games they are playing, the status games, the ego games, and you don't want to play. For years, you probably thought something was wrong with you. You asked yourself, why can't I just be happy like them? Why can't I just enjoy the small talk? Why do I feel this heavy weight of existence when everyone else seems so light? You have probably tried to fix it. You have tried to mask. You pretended to be interested. You forced a smile. You bought the clothes they bought. You watched the shows they watched. But it felt like wearing a costume that was 2 sizes too small. It suffocated you. I'm here to tell you to stop forcing it. The ancient Stoics, Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, they felt this too. They called it the separation from the mob. They realized that the majority is almost always wrong. The majority chooses comfort over truth. The majority chooses pleasure over purpose. If you feel different, it is because you are wired for something else. You are wired for reality. Today, we are going to explore the 5 rare traits that come with this burden. And make no mistake, it is a burden. But if you learn how to carry it, it becomes the wings that lift you above the noise. Why does society hate the person who feels different? Because society relies on conformity. Think of an ant colony. Every ant has a job. Every ant follows the scent trail. If one ant stops and says, "Wait, why are we marching in this circle?" that ant is a problem. That ant is a danger to the colony's efficiency. From the moment you were born, you were trained to be an ant. School taught you to sit still and repeat what the teacher said. Jobs taught you to follow orders and not ask questions. Social media taught you to look like everyone else to get likes. But you have a glitch. The programming didn't take. You ask why too much. You feel things too deeply. You see patterns that others ignore. This causes friction. You feel lonely because the people around you are operating on a different frequency. Imagine you were a radio tuned to 100.5, broadcasting classical music, philosophy, and truth, but everyone else is tuned to 98.5, broadcasting pop music, gossip, and noise. You aren't broken, you just aren't receiving their signal. The Stoic philosopher Seneca warned us about the crowd. He said, associate with people who are likely to improve you. He knew that being around normal people drags you down. He said, to consort with the crowd is harmful. There is no person who does not make some vice attractive to us, or stamp it upon us, or taint us just by being near him. Your feeling of being different is your immune system fighting off that taint. It is your mind saying, I refuse to be average. If you are still watching, you are one of the few. Let's break down the psychology of your difference. Trait number 1, you possess penetrating vision, the truth seeker. The first trait is that you see through things. You have what psychologists call high perceptiveness. When a normal person meets someone, they see the mask. They see the nice suit, the smile, the polite words. They think, oh, he's a nice guy. But you see the micro-expressions. You hear the tone of voice. You sense the insecurity underneath the arrogance. You sense the lie behind the smile. This makes life difficult for you. It is hard to enjoy a party when you can see that everyone is faking it. It is hard to respect a boss when you can see he is terrified of losing his power. You see the strings on the puppets. The Stoics called this stripping away the legend. Marcus Aurelius would look at a fancy purple robe and say, "This is just sheep's wool dyed with shellfish blood." He would look at a delicious meal and say, "This is just a dead pig." He refused to be impressed by the surface level. He wanted the raw truth. If you feel different, it is because you cannot turn this vision off. You are allergic to fake. While everyone else is hypnotized by the glamour of the world, the celebrity culture, the fast cars, the success, you look at it and you see emptiness. You see people chasing things that won't make them happy. You see a society that is sick with greed. This vision isolates you because you can't participate in the collective delusion. You are the child in the crowd pointing out that the emperor has no clothes. Everyone hates you for it, but you are the only one telling the truth. Trait number 2, you have a high need for cognition, the deep thinker. Trait number 2 is a psychological term, need for cognition. Most people are cognitive misers. This means they try to think as little as possible. Thinking is hard work. It burns calories. So most people rely on heuristics, mental shortcuts. They accept the first answer they are given. They believe the news headline without reading the article. They believe the gossip without checking the facts. But you have a hunger for depth. You don't just want to know what happened, you want to know why it happened. You aren't satisfied with small talk about the weather. You want to talk about the universe. You want to talk about death. You want to talk about the meaning of suffering. This makes you intense to others. You might have had people tell you, "You think too much," or "Why are you so serious?" They say this because your depth exposes their shallowness. When you try to have a real conversation with a shallow person, they feel stupid. They feel threatened, so they shut you down. They call you weird to protect their own ego. The Stoics were obsessed with logos, reason. They believed that the defining characteristic of a human being is the ability to think rationally. To be a mindless consumer is to be less than human. If you feel different, it is because you are exercising your humanity. You are using your brain for what it was built for, solving problems and seeking wisdom. Do not apologize for your intensity. The ocean is intense. The sun is intense. Only puddles are calm and shallow. Trait number 3, you value freedom over comfort. The wolf versus the dog. There is a famous fable about the wolf and the dog. The wolf is starving. He is cold. He is hunting in the snow. He meets a dog. The dog is fat. His fur is shiny. The dog says, "Mr. Wolf, why do you suffer out here? Come with me. My master feeds me steak every night. I sleep by the fire. I am safe." The wolf thinks this sounds great. He starts to follow the dog. But then the wolf notices a bald ring of fur around the dog's neck. "What is that?" the wolf asks. "Oh, that's just from the collar," the dog says. "They chain me during the day." The wolf stops. He looks at the dog, then he looks at the dark, cold forest. "You can keep your steak," the wolf says. "I prefer to starve in freedom than be fat in chains." If you feel different, you are the wolf. Most people are the dog. They will trade their freedom for safety. They will stay in a soul-sucking job for 40 years just to get the pension. They will stay in a toxic relationship just to not be alone. They will censor their own speech just to not be canceled. But you physically cannot do that. The collar chokes you. You would rather be broke and free than rich and owned. You would rather be alone and authentic than popular and fake. This trait makes you unpredictable to others. They can't control you. They can't buy you. And that scares them. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus was born a slave. He had a master, but he said, "You can chain my leg, but not even Zeus can conquer my mind." He understood that true freedom is internal. If you feel like an outsider, it is because you refuse to sell your soul for comfort. You are willing to walk the hard path, the path of the entrepreneur, the artist, the truth teller, because the easy path feels like a prison to you.
Trait number 4. You have a high sensitivity to injustice, the moral compass. Trait number 4 is a heavy one. You care too much. We live in a cynical world. Most people have adopted a strategy of look out for number 1. They see someone getting bullied and they look away. They see corruption at work and they keep their mouth shut. They see lies on the news and they shrug. What can I do? But you feel it in your gut. When you see injustice, it burns you. You can't just let it go. You are the person who speaks up in the meeting when the boss is being unfair, even though you know it might get you fired. You are the person who stops to help the stranger, even though you are in a rush. This makes you feel different because it makes you vulnerable. People tell you, don't be a hero, just keep your head down. But you can't. Your moral compass is a physical sensation. To go against your conscience causes you physical pain. The Stoics believed that virtue is the only good, summum bonum. They believed that justice, courage, wisdom, and temperance were the only things worth living for. Marcus Aurelius said, "Just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter." If you feel alienated, it is often because you are living by a code of honor in a world that has no honor. You are playing by the rules of knights and samurai in a world of thieves and merchants. You will lose money, you will lose status, but you will keep your soul. And that is a trade the Stoic always makes. Trait number 5. You embrace solitude, the hermit. And finally, trait number 5. You need to be alone to recharge. This is distinct from just being introverted. This is about spiritual necessity. For most people, being alone is a punishment. That's why solitary confinement is the worst torture in prison. But for you, solitude is oxygen. You feel different because while everyone else is making plans for Friday night, you are canceling them. You are happy staying in. You are happy reading, writing, working out, or just staring at the wall thinking. You have a rich inner life. Society tells you this is antisocial. They say you are depressed. They say you are a loner. But the Stoics knew that all great things are born in solitude. You cannot write a book in a crowd. You cannot build a business at a party. You cannot find yourself in the noise. You feel different because you have discovered the secret that Pascal wrote about. All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. You have mastered that ability. You are building your inner citadel.
While others are desperate for external validation, you are cultivating internal strength. This makes you self-sufficient, and in a world of needy, dependent people, the self-sufficient person looks like an alien. You don't need them, and that makes them wonder, what does he know that I don't?
I want you to imagine a bird. Pigeons fly in flocks. They are everywhere. They crowd the city streets. They fight over scraps of bread. They are safe in numbers. They make a lot of noise, cooing and flapping. But have you ever seen a flock of eagles? No, you never will. The eagle flies alone. The eagle flies at an altitude that would suffocate the pigeon. The air is thin up there. It is cold. It is lonely. But the view? The view is infinite. If you feel different, it is because you are an eagle trying to act like a pigeon. You are trying to squeeze your massive wings into a small cage. You are trying to peck at the ground when you were built to hunt from the sky. Stop it. Stop trying to lower your altitude to make other people comfortable. When you lower yourself, you don't help them, you just hurt yourself. You suffocate. You become depressed. You become anxious. The anxiety you feel isn't a disorder. It is your potential screaming at you. It is your destiny knocking on the door saying, get up, get out, fly. The different ones are the ones who change the world. Steve Jobs was different. Elon Musk is different. Marcus Aurelius was different. Jesus was different. Socrates was different. They didn't fit in. They were mocked. They were persecuted. They were misunderstood. But they moved the human race forward. The herd preserves the status quo. The outsider creates the future. So, here is your prescription. Embrace the weirdness. Lean into the difference. If they say you are too intense, be more intense. If they say you think too much, think deeper. If they say you are a loner, disappear into your work for 6 months and come back with something they can't ignore. Don't explain yourself to them. A lion does not explain himself to a sheep. A Stoic does not explain his philosophy, he lives it. Your feeling of alienation is the price of admission for a higher level of consciousness. It is the tax you pay for being awake. Pay it gladly. Walk your path. It will be a lonely path. There will be no applause on the way. There will be no crowds cheering you on. But at the end of that path lies the only thing that matters: ownership of your own mind. You are not alone. You are just rare. Diamond is rare. Gold is rare. Dirt is common. Do not envy the dirt. If you are ready to stop apologizing for who you are and start building the life you were meant for, hit that subscribe button. This is the home for the outsiders. Welcome home.